sorry for all the extra music. I forgot to download the video. So you got a little bit extra music today to dance to before we get started with Foreign Fridays. Tom and I, we're going to go to the land down under where the women glow and the men plunder. Thomas, I sure wish we could use some of that music without copyright infringement and getting smashed by men at work, but I suppose I can ad-lib it.
Well, either that or you should come up with your own songs.
That's actually something
you and Terry should record them,
Yeah.
A nice little voiceover.
Well, yeah, maybe you can join us too. You and Terry can be the harmonies and I'll be the lead singer. What do you think?
Either that or you should just use Camptown Races. I don't think you have to worry about copyright.
Well, we can do that. What was that, over 75 years or something like that? Old since
the
creator died?
Even older than that.
Yeah, that would be a pretty good one. Maybe we should do that. Well, last week we had a pretty good week at Ascot. So hopefully we can follow that up as we go to the part of the world where they hang upside down, Australia, by their feet. Not quite sure how they manage that, but hey, we do manage to put up free picks every day at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There's a link in the description here on YouTube. Please use that so they know where you came from when the show is over. A little bit afterwards, right there in the dead center of the screen, I will post all of our comments and thoughts along with a replay of the show. Timestamp all of the races in the description on YouTube so you can catch that there. And whilst you're there, hit that HRT gear button. Come on over here for 20% off. Get yourself a Horse Racing Today apron. I'm sure everybody's deep into their summer barbecue season. Thomas, how about you? What's your favorite?
Well, white would be my first choice, though.
Well, I think it's an excellent choice because
that would be a terrible choice for me.
It'd be an excellent choice because then you'd see just how frequently, like when we used to play football, Tom, in high school, one of the things we had white pants, and you always knew the people who were out on the field getting the work done because they come off the field with the dirtiest white pants. Well, the dirtiest white apron would be he who cooks the most. No.
Well, or either that or it's a snack for later.
That too. Some barbecue sauce for next time. Oh. That would probably be healthy. Yesterday, a friend of mine had a little bit of some Chinese food that was a little bit old, Thomas, and unfortunately paid the price for that.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get cracking, if you like what we do, there is also a tip jar in the description on YouTube. Kindly hit that up so Tom and I don't have to use leftover barbecue sauce. And also help the show by commenting, like the show online, and subscribe if you have not. The first race we're going to do is race number 5, the Tobin Brothers Vain Stakes. It will begin at 12:45 a.m. Eastern. It's 1,100 meters, class 3 for 3-year-olds, Thomas, and 1,100 meters.
Grade 3. It's a group 3. Not class. It's a group 3 race. Well, it's an important distinction because black type.
Well, there's no class around here is where I was going with that. But 1,100 meters, they're going to start here, make their way around the track, and finish there, Thomas. I hope I got that correct.
You did.
All right. Once in a while, I get something right. We don't get the...
Yeah, well, join my club. Get right in line. I'll give you a number.
Yeah, like the deli line over at Jewel. Yeah. So 1,100 meters, any particular post position bias with that run straight and then turn down there type thing?
And a little bit. You do want the outside posts do have a disadvantage here. And if you bring up the speed chart, you give it some idea of where that speed is from.
Mm-hmm. So the early speed belongs to Shaggy. Ruh-roh. He's going to get to the lead by himself. It looks like nobody else is going to give him any sort of push along as the race gets cooking. As they settle in, it does look like Shaggy going to have a pretty good lead over the rest of the field, Thomas. Maybe that guy can go wire to wire. A lot of closing speed for everybody but Shaggy. Shaggy looks like he'll be walking home. Express Class is the one that'll be coming the fastest at the end, though plenty of company as they charge their way home. So as far as you're concerned, Thomas, does Shaggy get a chance to get out to the front and do it all by himself, or are you looking somewhere else?
Well, I picked Shaggy, but not for first. I picked number 2, Shining Smile, as my top choice. Most experienced runner in this race. Ran on the soft going and won. Used a barrier trial for the prep for this race, but it's on a 4 winning streak. So one listed level, that was the last time, so it's stepping up a little bit here, and got a good draw, and I think should be able to run the race. It can run from the front end, but it's generally more of a mid-pack type. And I did pick that horse we mentioned, number 4, Shaggy, because of the speed. Last time out, he blew the start, moved to second, and faded. So hopefully don't come blow the start. After he went to he was in a Group 2 race in March. He was, and won. And he was in. Sometimes he's only been able to do better than 5th in some of those races. I don't, if his speed can hold, that would be great. He's 2 out of 3 on the soft going, so I think that's got to play a role. And since we're listed right now as soft 6, that's pretty mushy. So there's some definitely, and they're supposed to be raining. Today it rained, and tomorrow it's supposed to have some rain too. So we'll see. Finally, on 5, Jimmy Ricard, my final choice. 2 for 2 on the soft going, and number 1 on the good track. Do you think it may like some surface better than others? Possibly. Inside post means he's got to get out, but he's good at sitting behind the leaders, as he's done in his other races, wins. So I think that's where he'll be, and I think he's got a chance right in there. Yeah. And so does the public, because his price is lower than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, 4 to 1. Right here, I like this comment. And this is from racingnet.com.au. You can head on over there as well. It's all free content, at least for me. A strong What's that, Tom?
It is definitely free.
Says there a strong a finisher as they come, at least a place chance here. Well, I put it at the top of my ticket, not because of that comment, but when I went through the past performances, June 12th, he ran 5 1/4 furlongs in 1:04. By far the fastest time for anybody in this field. And I know this one's a little bit longer than that, but a repeat of that effort, and ain't nobody catching that one. Next up, I have Express Class, the 7 horse. This one is coming into its 2nd race. You see it debuted, it won. If you read the comments there, they had all sorts of issues in that and still ran a pretty good fast race in there. No problems today, and maybe runs even faster at a good price. And you don't know how good a horse is until it loses. And then Shining Smile. So I only get 3 horses because there are only 7 in here, Thomas. As you pointed out, the horse has won 5 in a row. There is room for improvement in the second up, but I'm just kind of worried that maybe there's also a little bit of room for regression for Shining Smile, being on a hot streak as it has been. There is no predictor to fight with today, Tom. Darn. It's one of my favorite parts of 4 and Friday. So let's go on to race number 6. This one is
the fillies version of this race, of the race we just did.
The Tile Importer Quezette Stakes. Again, 1,100 meters. So they'll come over here. Tom mentioned that being on the outside does give you a little bit of an advantage as you come around that turn. Let's take a look at the speed maps for this one to see if any lady has a big edge. Well, the playwright is going to play the role of Shaggy in this one as they settle into position. Yeah, again, this one might have a little bit more of a early race edge in a deeper field than Shaggy did against the boys. As they come down, the playwright, much like Shaggy, won't have a whole lot left. But boy, oh boy, oh boy. Blue Hotel looks like it's going to have a jetpack on its back as she makes her way for home. Thomas, is that jetpack going to get that horse into the finish line first in the winner's enclosure down under?
No.
All right.
I went with 6. Signature Scent. Undefeated in 2 races. It ran at this distance at Caulfield with a win. She didn't have the best of starts last time out, and she won. So that's always impressive with a inexperienced horse. Both her starts were on the soft going. Good barrier trial, running second in this, and the time was decent. I think she'll remain undefeated. Number 4, Scenic Point is my next choice. also undefeated. Her last run was also at Caulfield, but she was in a listed race. She's got 2 barrier trials coming into this race. She won one of them, and she beat my top choice in that barrier trial. My only question is the soft going, because she's never run on it yet. So we'll see. Breeding says yes, but we'll see. And I did take the Playwright as my final choice, number 1. The speed in here without question. She ran and won in a Group 3, then placed 4th in a Group 1 before her break. She handled a soft going once and was able to win. My only question with her is her barrier trials were average, and they're removing the blinkers. So maybe they're trying to get her to settle early. A little different strategy with that. Who's going to take the lead in this race? So that was my question mark, because if this one wants the front, and we're talking about a 5.5 furlong race. We're not talking about this big, huge distance. So I don't know about that move, and that's my concern. But I think it's good enough to get her the money.
Well, I think Scenic Point, again, looking through the times, Thomas, you just compare how fast they run. This one is considerably faster than the rest and just runs its average race. It could be too fast for the rest of these. The Playwright is next for me. Tom, this one won its debut, comes back. This is the second time the horse will be making a first up start. So I think the horse can thrive under those conditions, but will need to run her absolute best. And maybe that's why they're taking the blinkers off. I'm going to go with a little bit of a longer price here, though, that has been taking some money, Tom. That is Fariva. I don't know. That's what we'll go. Farivia. So one is making, was well bet. Should get a good stalking trip today here versus these Thomas. So I think you'll see a excellent trip out of the 10 horse. And then number 3, My Gladiola. A little chalky, I guess, in some respects for me. Another one that in its first race off the debut won. So I'm expecting this one to be able to come back in its other first up and see how it does well today. I left the second favorite out of there. That looks pretty solid. The one that you picked in there, Signature Scent. Again, unfortunately, no. We should write a code for a predictor for the Land Down Under. The 7th race is the Turf Regal Roller Stakes. This one's going to go off at 2 a.m. Eastern time. Are you going to be up then? 1 o'clock? I'll be up probably 1 o'clock.
It's very possible.
Yeah, I'll likely be up. So this time around, they're going to go, I know it's in here somewhere. They're going to go 1,200 meters. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, 1,200 meters. They're going to start all the way back here, as far back as they can go. Probably the same situation, Tom, but you got a little bit more runway to get into good positions, but still being outside better than inside.
Inside is preferred for the most part. Outside, you're at a disadvantage, and it depends on with who. Again, when you bring that speed map up, we'll see who's going to be making the running, and also post position of where they're coming out of.
Well, this one's going to be a lot more contentious going early because you got a lot of horses with a bunch of pace that should keep them in there. So 3 of them should be out on the lead, 3 in the middle, and 4 in the back. So a pretty well-balanced race. Everybody should get the trip that they're looking for. Yeah, look, they'll line up in order. That'll be interesting. Just string them out from first to worst. And let's see as they come home. Does look like plenty of them, but Papa Ward, the 10 horse, will have the most late speed. Some of those front runners cooling off a little bit, although Arkansas Kid looks like maybe has enough late pace to be a part of the race from the beginning to the middle and the end and find its way perhaps to the winner's circle. Thomas, I know it's part of my picks. It's Arkansas Kid part of your picks.
No, because of the draw.
All right, well.
And the speed that was on the inside. So I think it's going to have a really superb trip to be able to get home. With that, I'm going to take 2. Burdenal. Yeah, well, that's good enough. Good record on the soft going. I've got 5 runs there, 5 outings in the money, 7 runs on the and again also 2 2 wins.
He does that too.
Yeah. First up, 2 wins from 6 starts. Had a winning effort in its prep and a barrier trial. It's won or placed at this level 6 out of its 8 times running at this level in a listed race. Is he kind of will win or do nothing? Possibly. And maybe it's the next time out was when he's going to hit. But I'm going to think he's ready to go today. Number 9, Kiko is going to be my next choice. She's has a win on the soft going. She has a win on the heavy going. And she's placed 3 times on the soft going. So what does that mean? She's never been out of the money. That run. I mean, she ran at a lower level last time. Was the benchmark 70 level and did fine. 1,000 meters. She won that race. She came from the back of the field. So if that speed doesn't hold, she's good. Like my next choice, she's going to be closing. Number 10, Pop Award is that choice. And she's also ran at a benchmark 78 level last time out and won that start. She has now won 4 in a row. Again, these are all lower levels, but she's done well. Overall, she likes the soft going. I think she's going to continue to go forward, and we'll see.
I'm going to start off in this race with number 8, Royal Insignia, as my top choice. This one is won both times. The horse has come up off the bench. I don't know, maybe I record it a little differently than they do, but the way I see it. And this one excels at the distance right there. 4-3-0-1. I do group that the same. Somehow we both ended up on the same long shot, Thomas. Kiko. This horse, I think, is a Tom horse, and that some signs of life did find its form in its last race. And as you pointed out, Tom, put a little water in the track. And yes, 5 times out, 2 wins, 3 seconds. There's going to be plenty of water in the track.
Oh, even on a heavier track, she's been done okay.
Yeah, they say it's going to continue to rain.
On the heavy, so she seems to want some moisture in that ground.
I do like the Arkansas kid, regardless of the post position. So let's go ahead and put that one in there. Has the best times for this group. And if Arkansas kid just reruns its last race, good position or not, could be tough for the rest of these horses to keep up. And then finally, the 4-horse, Lose Some, Win Some More, or Win More, has won 2 in a row. Faster final time in its last than it did in the prior start at the same distance. But another where I feel there could be some regression risk coming off a pretty strong effort, probably a career best effort in the last one. 2 races to go, Tom. We'll go to race number 8 in just a moment. But before we do that, just a reminder, on Monday, Terry and I will do Parks Monday and Tuesday, 12 races for both of those days. So it's going to be a full card. There's a chance we won't have anything on Wednesday, or maybe Terry will fly solo for Saratoga, or maybe Tom could join him. I don't know. We'll figure that out next week. Thursday, Saratoga or Del Mar for sure. Back to 4 on Friday. Next Friday, if you want to catch all of those shows, you see our social sites linking down below. But primarily, we broadcast on X and on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to both of them in case one is down. And, of course, share our content with your friends. And then hit us up with the like buttons and all of that good stuff that everybody is familiar with. Hit the subscribe. Race number 8 is the Catanach Jewelers PB Lawrence Stakes. 1,400 meters in this case, Thomas. 1,400 meters are going to start in this chute. Got a little bit of a bend going into that turn there and another turn quickly. So I would suspect that would really favor horses on the inside. Thomas, and your expertise says what?
Correct. Absolutely correct.
Yeah. Maybe that'd be the only thing I get correct.
No, you probably have more correct winners than I have. And that's only because you get 4 choices rather than 3.
That's probably why. Yeah, and that's why I do it, Thomas, right?
Absolutely. When that last choice comes in, then you just feel like, oh, I should have put that on top.
Yeah, well, that's always works out that way at the end. But All right, well, let's take a look at how this pace is going to play out in race number 8. That one will begin at 2:35 a.m. Eastern, and if I'm up then, I'm up too late, and then I might as well stay up for the last one. Here to Shock might just do that out on the lead because there's not a ton of early speed. I'll get a little bit of competition from Evaporate. Well, those two look like they should get some play from the bettors, as they're two of the favorites, although Private Eye looks like it's going to be the favorite. Private Eye will be in the mix as the horses line up again. At the end of the race, Moraya and Sepals, Private Eye will be in that mix too, but Here to Shock with some front speed. Looks like it has a little bit more late speed than Evaporate. Tom, not a whole lot of early speed in here. Who's going to win this race?
I'm going to start with number 8, Mara. She's run once in Australia. It was terrible. Then she took some time off, 2 barrier trials to prepare for this race. By the way, she won the Breeders' Cup last year. So, pretty good horse. One of the things with trademark is she makes big moves late. So if the pace is right, she'll set it up. She's better than her last race, and you don't see any stats because she's been racing in this country, but she has run on the softer going and has done okay, or we call it yielding. Number 11, Yellow Sam is going to be my next choice. She likes Caulfield, but she only won once. But she's placed 5 other times at Caulfield. Yeah, it's pretty good. She's never been out of the money, or at this level. She's done well at this level, and she's 6 at this distance. 6 out of 7, so it's decent. You go through some stats, and guess what she likes?
Likes it to be wet again.
Yeah, she tends to do better when it's got some moisture. 4 out of her 6 races were won on the wet. So you got to think about that one. Now, again, she ran 3rd. In her last 2 starts. I think this is a good spot for her, and I think she'll definitely hit the board. And I am going to take that favorite, number 1, Private Eye. He's definitely the class of this bunch. He's going to use 2 barrier trials to coming into this race. So he's got a 2nd, and he won his last one. Last race was at Eagle Farm, and that was in a Group 1. He ran 3rd. He only has 1 win at this distance. But he's placed 4 out of 6 times. So win. That's why I'm putting him down on my ticket, not for the top one. The other thing is interesting. He's 8 years old, right? And he's never raced at Caulfield. So I think that was interesting. Because let's face it, Caulfield runs some really good races.
Indeed does. That's why we're there this week. Well, will you stop? I start, Thomas. Again, it's a theme of the day. The 7 furlong type, despite only having 1 win in 6 tries. But if you calculate out the times, they're faster than everybody else. Just rerun the last one, and as they say, it's a wrap. Here to Shock, the 2 horse right behind him on the board there, 1 and 2. Strong at Caulfield. You see track and distance, 4 times out, 2 wins, 2 seconds. Overall, 6 times out, 2 wins, 3/3. Been all or nothing on the soft. Tom, check that out. 8 times out, 5 dubs. And ran at the distance.
One of your favorite angles.
Yes,
all or nothing.
All or nothing. And then, it takes 7-1 on an all or nothing horse, but also won half of its races at the distance. So loves the track, loves the distance, loves the footing. I love all or nothings. What's not to love? Evaporate. Another one of the favorites in here, Thomas. I think it might end up being the favorite at Showtime. Maybe not. Very solid on the soft record. 4 times out, 3 wins and a 2nd. But the horse is making your first start after a layoff and maybe needs 1 to be totally oiled up and ready to go.
And this distance may not be the best for
it. Track and distance a 3rd. And then finally, I'm going to go with... I wrote this down, Thomas, in my notes, a Tom horse. And not surprisingly, Tom picked this horse. You have to respect the distance. In the money, 6 out of 7. At the track, 6 out of 7. And then, well, here the distance is 6 out of 7. But also on the soft, I have 4 out of 5. It's been in the money, but they probably included the heavy in the data that I was using. A little bit different than the data from racing.
You also can use your wet stat that's on this one.
6 out of 7. There you go. 4 out of 5. Just a little bit different data source that I use for the handicapping, and maybe they grade things differently. Last race for this week, Tom, race number 9. Any sense of what 4 and Friday holds for next 4 and Friday?
It's Ybor Festival time. The better races, of course, are on in the Judgment International and the Nunthorpe. But we'll do Saturday's card and pick up 5 races off of that one.
So at least we know what we're doing. Ybor Festival. All right. So the last race is not the Ybor Festival here. No. It is the Sportsbet Blackbook. This one is going to be 1,600 meters, so they're going to go even longer. So 1,600 meters, we're going to start here and pretty much go around the turns again. So if 1,400 meters, the inside horses had an edge. I'd imagine with this one, they'll have an edge too. But maybe if you can cut them off, you could block a few people in there, Thomas, on the way to that turn. What do you think?
Very possible. And these are good horses. I mean, this is the benchmark 100 level. These are those types of black horses that are right on the border of black type or do run in the black type group races, listed or group. So this is a good bunch.
And plenty of the good bunch to pick from. So we should get plenty of different racing styles. Early on, we do see, again, a couple of horses with a little bit more speed than the rest. So overall, it looks like most of these horses want to come from off the pace. If you want to come from off the pace and just a couple that do have early speed, it could give them a little bit of an edge early on if they can get in the right proper fractions. In the settling position, most everybody middle back. Ordinarily, that gives folks that get out front a little bit more of a chance to win than ordinary. And then the closing speed, you got one out there, Revelera, that's in a class of its own. So that one's at all close coming out of the turn. It can be very difficult to hold off that 11-horse Thomas. I'm sure it's in your picks based upon that or maybe something else, but I don't know what's at the top, so let me know.
Oh, start with 12. Too darn discreet, my top choice. Our first up effort was poor, but then she won the next time out. She's got an outside draw, which is a bit of a concern, but she's won 3 out of 7 times on the soft going, and I think she's one of those like you like, win or do nothing. Well, I'm not completely crazy because people are betting her. So I'm going to put her on top. And, of course, she gets a little bit of a weight advantage. Number 4, Forgot You. My next choice. He ran second last time out and a third in his previous start. And that was at this benchmark 100 level. He's also done that at a listed level. So he has 6 starts on the soft ground. He's won twice. And he's placed in 3 others. He's going to come from the back of the field. I don't see him winning, but I do see him hitting the board. And again, price is okay. Finally, I'm going to take the speed from the outside, which is Golden Path, only because he's taken a huge crash drop. He's going from group 1 level in his last race to this level. That's big. Barrier trials were average. He's been running in the money occasionally, and then he does nothing, and back and forth, and then he wins, and he likes the soft and heavy going, which is important. So that wet, he's got 5 wins on the wet. So again, I couldn't leave him off the ticket. He only won once at this distance. He placed once at 6 starts. A little bit of a concern with that. But again, that class drop is huge.
Well, once again, where you stop, I start. I mentioned the distance, but the one thing again, if I look at the final times, it's been my theme for the day today. I don't know. Sometimes I get on a bender, a particular handicapping angle, I suppose. But in this case, if you look at the 1 mile times, even though it hasn't been successful, maybe just the competition that he's been running against has been faster than these. If he runs his race, he should run the fastest 1 mile time. Then I'm going to go with that 11 horse with all that late kick in there, Thomas. Reveler. That one has been, you see the distance, 2 for 2. Winner of 6 of 8 for its lifetime. It's kind of hard to overlook those numbers relative to the rest of what is available in here, especially with that late kick.
It's never really run on a soft or heavy going. So I was a little concerned with that one against this type of field.
And maybe get scratched before the day ends if they don't want to do it. I like this comment on this horse, Tom. Munahamek from Great Britain over there. A little bit of a price, 23 to 1. Certainly he's had plenty of races, 76 of them.
Once or twice, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of experience, I'd say for sure. But he says, finished 4 lengths back, last start at Flemington. Hard to get enthused. Well, another note that I saw, Thomas, said that he closed into a very slow pace last out. I think he catches something a little bit hotter. And if you close into a very slow pace, I think that's what you call, Tom, showing signs of life.
Yeah, and Golden Path is definitely going to be winging it from the outside. And there only seems to be one other horse that's got any real speed early. So if they can cross over cleanly, that horse should have something to run at.
Hopefully they do just that and keep up the pace. And then running by the final pick for this Born Friday, Tom, the 6 horse. It's a closer that's been running 7 furlongs of late. And I think getting that extra furlong today, a little bit more distance, is going to provide this horse a little bit extra. And if you look at the track, 3 times out, 2 wins and a second. So they call that, I don't know if they call it a horse for the course in Australia, but I'll call it for a horse for the course today. So again, that wraps up all of our picks in just a little bit over at horseracingtoday.net, right there in the middle of the screen. I will post all of our picks, our commentary, along with the race replay. Every race will be timestamped, so you can come back and watch them at your leisure. Next week, again, Parks, probably Saratoga, and then Ybor. So it'll be a full week of picks.
York. And the week after, we should point out, make people, if they're interested and pique their interest, we'll be going to that very foreign track for the full card handicapping. And you know what one that is?
I have no idea.
Kentucky Downs.
Oh yes, Kentucky Downs. It's the
Wednesday of that week, and we'll do the full card Saturday because we really want to aggravate ourselves
and everybody who watches.
Yeah,
sure. There'll be some free picks as always over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. I think today, I'm not 100% positive who I picked. I think I picked Evangeline Downs or Delta Downs. Let's see. I took Charlestown. Yes, close. So you don't have to worry about post position.
And the line's a little bit farther south.
Yeah, a little post time, a little bit stuff. Again, over at horseracingtoday.net, HRT gear, nice and clean, at least for now, 20% off on your white barbecue apron. All right, Thomas, that wraps it up for today. Any final thoughts of wisdom before we pop up and out of here?
Enjoy this card. I think it's a pretty good card. Top to bottom. There's big fields in those earlier races, so you can figure those out. You got some money to bet on these races.
So load up on some caffeine for Insomnia Friday night. Check out some Australian racing, the land down under, where the women glow and the men plunder. And hopefully Tom and I will plunder some winners out of our picks today. We appreciate you watching. Hopefully for the rest of this day, no matter when you watch, that you have God's grace, God's favor, and everything down there ends up in
the winner's enclosure.
Indeed. Thanks for watching. Make it a blessed Friday.